Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. The Cincinnati Bengals have just traded with the Cleveland Browns to acquire Joe Flacco. That's what just happened. Breaking news, the Cleveland Browns have just traded Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals. Ladies and gentlemen, that has Dillon Gabriel, who didn't play that badly this past weekend, as your QB1 with, logically speaking, Shedeur-Sanders moving up as your QB2. It's getting very interesting. Now, I don't know if y'all know the news, if y'all saw the news. Damian Lillard, Dame Dollar, formerly of the Portland Trail Blazers, then went to the Milwaukee Bucks, tore his Achilles, was out, got injured in the play. It's going to be out this entire year, but is back in Portland where he belongs, where he loves to be, loves it out there. Damian Lillard's from Oakland, California, and that makes him a Raiders fan. And he was imploring the Raiders to trade for Shedeur-Sanders. I got to admit, after watching Geno Smith, I don't blame him one bit. The man's got 9 interceptions on the year. The Las Vegas Raiders look horrible. Horrible. Pete Carroll, the oldest coach in the National Football League at age 74, he hasn't turned them around. Tom Brady, a minority owner in the team, wearing headphones in the booth, he hasn't turned them around. They look bad. And I can't blame Damian Lillard for suggesting that. I don't know how good Shedeur-Sanders is going to be. I know I believe in the brother. I know I wouldn't mind seeing him in Las Vegas. I know I wouldn't mind seeing him in the bright lights on center stage because he got that kind of swag with him. I definitely feel that way. But I'm here to tell you right now, when I look at it and I look at him, I got to tell you something. I don't mind that suggestion at all. But just to reiterate, Joe Flacco for the Cleveland Browns has just been traded to the Cincinnati Bengals because obviously they've lost faith in Jake Browning, who was about to have, he looked like he was just having a meltdown on the sidelines. You know, an offensive line that couldn't protect him. He couldn't compose himself. He clearly was making mistakes. You got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins out there. You got to have a quarterback that can throw in the damn football, period. End of discussion. So I don't mind this trade at all. But how much that's going to do for the Cincinnati Bengals remain to be seen. At least they're trying something. I give them credit where credit is due. But maybe, what are you going to do if you are Zach Taylor? Are you going to put Joe Flacco in the shotgun position, putting him out there as target practice for opposing defensive linemen and linebackers coming at his way with that offensive line? I don't know how wise that is. We shall see. 888 Mad Dog 6 is the number to call up. That's 888-623-3646. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. One other thing I want to get to before we went to break, because I thought this was important to bring up. I don't know if y'all saw DeMarcado for the Arizona Cardinals running into the end zone, a breakaway 72-yard touchdown run, but let go of the football before he crossed the goal line. And then you saw him on the sideline, and the coach, Gannon, got
sixth-round draft pick from the Browns for a fifth-rounder. The 40-year-old had been benched in favor of rookie Dillon Gabriel this past weekend. And without Joe Burrow, Cincinnati 0-3 with Jake Browning starting with a propensity to turn over that football. Our Bengals reporter Ben Baby joins us now for much more. Still, we see the Bengals in second place in the AFC North. What more can you tell us, Ben, about why they felt compelled to make this move?
Yeah, Hannah, after the Bengals dropped 3 straight games without Joe Burrow as a starter, they felt they needed a spark to lift this offense. And the Jake Browning that they saw over these last 3 games was not the same guy they saw in 2023. So with that being said, over the last couple of days, they made it a point to try to find another option ahead of practice on Wednesday. And in scouring the league, they found Joe Flacco. And in talking to people in the building today, a couple of the reasons that led to Flacco was that they believe that they can get the veteran up to speed quickly, as the Bengals have a big road game against the Green Bay Packers this weekend. Another factor, they know that Flacco has familiarity within the division, now having played for 3 of the 4 teams in the AFC North. And Zach Taylor, in a statement today, said that Flacco's got a strong arm, he's got a good history of winning, and they are hopeful that both of those things will help the Bengals stay afloat while Joe Burrow recovers from toe surgery.
Yeah, with Flacco now in Cincinnati, by the way, Shedeur-Sanders becomes Dillon Gabriel's backup in Cleveland. Ben, baby, we thank you, as always. And Flacco struggled in limited times with the Browns this season, ranking second worst among starting quarterbacks in estimated points added per drop back. The only quarterback that actually ranked lower than Flacco, that would be Jake Browning, the man that he's replacing in Cincinnati. Our quarterback, Dan Orlovsky, is with us. What are your thoughts about Joe Flacco moving to the Bengals?
Yeah, confusing move by Cincinnati. I don't see how this is a massive upgrade. Number one, their offensive line is still a poor pass-protecting offensive line. It has been for years. It's just been mitigated because of Joe Burrow. Joe Flacco's had a great career, but Joe Flacco in the last 2 years has really struggled with throwing and dealing with pressure. And so you're bringing a quarterback that has really struggled to perform under pressure to an offense that really does not pass protect well. And I think that's going to be a problem for the Bengals. And this still is a very talented skill group. And Joe is definitely capable of making throws. But the consistency of them blocking and the consistency of him having to deal with playing under pressure is just not going to be a great marriage. And the second thing it makes me think about is it was either in Cincinnati, we could no longer trot out there with Jake Browning, or that they believe that Joe Burrow is going to come back sooner than they expected. Because I know the initial timetable was like potentially 3 months, but it makes me feel that the Bengals think he's got a chance to get back sooner. They just need to stay competitive and stay afloat in an AFC that's a little bit of a muddy picture right now, certainly within their division, and then he can come back sooner than expected and they can make a potential playoff run.
So a Band-Aid situation, perhaps.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's that much of an upgrade over Jake Browning.
Yeah, we don't know. By the way, if Flacco's able to go Sunday, which we assume he is, he's going to be tested right out of the gate because he faces Micah Parsons and the Packers.
Huh.
And they're a 2-touchdown underdog. Yeah, Packers
gives up a 5th-round pick and gets a 6th-rounder in the quarterback for the Browns. Flacco is Cincinnati's quarterback until Joe Burrow can return from his turf toe injury. I'll be completely honest here. When this happened, we had some interesting reactions texting each other. Dan, what do you think of this move? We'll start with you.
Why? Why, if you're the Bengals, with that offensive line, this offensive line has been bad for years. It still is bad. It's been mitigated by Joe Burrow. Joe Flacco is not going to be the person to overshadow that. And then the other thought was, do they, in Cincinnati,